Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on, to better explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, I'm Captain Stacy Spell, Commanding Officer of Media Relations Division of the Los Angeles Police Department. This critical incident community briefing is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred in Northeast Division in the city of Los Angeles on December 26, 2021 at around 6:10 p.m. You're about to see relevant video footage and learn about other evidence and police procedures related to the case, so you can have a better understanding of what occurred based on what we know right now. The LAPD conducts very thorough use of force investigations, which typically require investigators to interview multiple witnesses, view numerous hours of video footage, and analyze a significant amount of forensic evidence. We are still at the very early stages of this investigation, which can often take up to a year to complete, and our understanding of the incident may change as this additional evidence is collected, analyzed, and reviewed. We also do not draw any conclusions about whether the officers acted consistent with our policies and the law until all the facts are known and the investigation is complete. A word of caution. The images and information you're about to see may be disturbing. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or defend against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. In addition, there may be strong language used by those shown in the video. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for young children and sensitive viewers. Northeast patrol officers responded to a Los Angeles Fire Department backup request radio call in the 2900 block of West Broadway. Fire department personnel were requesting assistance with an uncooperative suspect who was refusing to exit his parked vehicle. The suspect was suffering from self-inflicted lacerations and puncture wounds to his neck and abdomen. Here's the radio broadcast for this incident.
Any unit vicinity in 2611X26 Fire Department's requesting a backup. 29 West Broadway, 29 West Broadway at the for a combative male, code 3, incident 2587 RD 1113.
When officers arrived at the location, the suspect armed himself with a knife, immediately exited his vehicle, and began walking toward the officer's police vehicle. That suspect was identified as Enrique Ruiz, Jr. The officers attempted to establish communication with Ruiz by repeatedly telling him to put the knife down and turn around. However, Ruiz refused to comply. The officers made repeated attempts to have Ruiz drop the knife he was holding. However, Ruiz continued to walk toward the officers while shouting, "No, shoot me." As Ruiz reached the front bumper of the police vehicle, he advanced toward the passenger officer and an officer-involved shooting occurred. Ruiz was struck by gunfire and collapsed to the ground, where he was taken into custody. This incident was captured on the responding officer's digital in-car video. Most marked vehicles assigned to patrol have a camera mounted inside, which activates when the emergency lights are turned on. The camera can also be manually activated. These digital in-car cameras have a buffer of video without audio. Upon activation, the camera goes back 1 minute and starts recording.
Hey, drop the fuck knife! Hey, drop the knife now! Drop the knife! Put it down!
Either the city, 11X30, professional backup area, supervisor.
Put it down!
West Broadway, 4415 out the way.
Put it down, man! Come on! You don't want to do this, man! Put it down! Put it down, man! Come on! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Walk it out!
Okay, so backup. Our unit is 29 West Broadway at the gas station.
Hey, put the knife down! Hey, put it down, man! Look, we don't want to hurt you, man! Hey, stop! Hey, don't move stuff, man! Don't move! Stop! Stop! Don't move! Stop! You're not move! Hey, man, stop! Move! Stop! Get down, man! Stop! You're not move! Stop! Stop! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Stop! 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 Stop!
Supervisor coming to the backup identified.
This incident was also captured on the officer's body-worn video. Body-worn video cameras are used by most officers assigned to field duties. They are worn at chest level and capture a general perspective within line of sight from that angle. The angle of the camera prohibits viewers from seeing everything the officer saw and experienced. Upon activation, both audio and video will turn on. However, body-worn video cameras have a buffer of video without audio from the previous 2 minutes prior to activation. This feature is designed to capture incidents that occur suddenly where an officer doesn't immediately activate the camera. Here's body-worn video from the officers involved in this incident.
Hey, drop the knife. Hey, drop the knife. Drop the knife. Let me get a backup for a man with a knife. Hey, drop the knife now. Put it down.
Either the city, 11 attorneys requesting backup.
Hey, put it down. Put it down, man. Come on. You don't want to do this, man. Put it down. Put it down, man. Come on. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Don't get up.
Are you in 290 West Broadway gas station?
Hey, put the knife down. Hey, put it down, man. Look, we don't want to hurt you, man. Hey, stop. Don't come towards us, man. Stop. 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 Hey, man, stop. Stop. Get down, man. Stop. Stop. Put the knife down. Stop. 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 11X38, shots fired, officer needs help. Man, don't move.
Officer needs help, 290 West Broadway. Officer needs help, 290 West Broadway. Shots fired. In the area next one on northeast frequency.
Look, you don't want to hurt you, man. Hey, stop.
Hey, don't move.
Us, man.
Don't move.
Stop.
Don't move.
Stop.
You're not move.
Hey, man, stop.
You're not move. I will shoot you.
Get down,
Get
man.
down.
Stop.
You're not move.
Stop.
Stop. Put the knife down.
Put the knife down.
Put the knife down.
Stop.
Stop. Stop. Stop. Don't move.
Got it?
Good? Good?
This incident was also captured by a witness on their cellular phone.
There's a helicopter coming out. Oh, he's got something in his hand.
Yeah, that's how they have guns drawn.
Uh-oh. Come on, dude, stop walking. Fuck, he's saying to shoot him. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Fuck.
You're okay.
Oh, yeah, this fucking guy might be dead. Oh, no, he's still moving.
Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics immediately treated Ruiz and transported him to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced deceased. Ruiz's knife was recovered at scene and booked as evidence. Enrique Ruiz Jr. was a 33-year-old resident of Los Angeles. In the next several months, the LAPD will continue to investigate and analyze this incident. We will continue interviewing any new witnesses that may come forward and complete any forensic tests. After the investigation is complete, our Critical Incident Review Division will forward their findings to the Chief of Police, who will make his recommendation to the Civilian Board of Police Commissioners. The board will evaluate the evidence to determine whether the officer's tactics, drawing, and exhibiting a weapon and use of deadly force in this instance met the high standards expected of all LAPD officers. If you would like more information on how the LAPD...
All right, let's get into it. So, the police respond to this call to assist the fire department with this person. So this person has been sitting in his vehicle with the fire department there, and the fire department has been trying to get him to get out of his vehicle. Now, there's not a whole lot of background on how the fire department got there to begin with and how long they'd been there. I don't think that if the guy had called 911, said he was going to try to kill himself, that they would have sent just the fire department. I think they would have sent the police as well. So I think this could have come out as a guy, as a call for a guy who's bleeding. And whenever whoever was talking to the dispatchers, nothing was said about someone trying to commit suicide or being stabbed or anything like that. It doesn't seem like it makes sense to me for them to send fire personnel to a call where there's a guy that has a weapon and there's no one there to protect the firefighters. So firefighters are there. They're trying to treat this guy, and he's not coming out. Now, as soon as the police roll up on scene, then this guy decides to get out. And it's just damn near instantaneous. So as soon as he saw that blue light, it was game on for him. This guy had obviously no intentions on getting out on the firefighters and advancing on them with a knife, because he knows that they don't have guns. What are they going to do? Shoot a fire extinguisher at him? Spray him with a water hose? Well, hitting him with the hose could be an option for them to defend themselves, but I mean, realistically, it'd take too long to get the hose out and charge the line and all that. But anyway, this guy knows that they don't have guns. They're not going to shoot him, so he's not going to waste his time doing this little charade on them. It's not going to get him anywhere. This guy knows that what he's trying to do with the knife isn't working because it's too painful for him. Even though he wants to die, the part of the brain that still deals with self-preservation is preventing him from cutting too deep and cutting what needs to be cut because it's painful. Your skin gets cut, it freaking hurts. And that's why you have on suicide victims or people who've attempted suicide with cutting, they have hesitation marks on them. Because when they start to cut into themselves, they start to feel that crap. And they cannot fully commit to going all the way down. There's hesitation marks on there. And this is what this guy's done. He's cut himself enough to bleed a lot, but it hurts too much for him to go any further. And so he wants the police there. And as soon as they get there, he gets out of the car because he's expecting the bullets to be quicker and maybe less painful.
Hey, drop the fuck knife! Back up for hey, drop the knife now! Drop the knife! Put it down!
So he's standing here, and he's either one of two things is going on. One, he thinks they're just going to shoot him right then and there. He may not have any knowledge of police and how they do things. He probably has not watched videos like this before. He may be going off the belief that as soon as a knife comes out, the police are just going to start blasting. And he's just sitting there waiting for it to happen. And obviously it doesn't happen right off the bat. The other possibility is he is still trying to work up the courage to go towards them to get these bullets shot into him.
Are you requesting backup area supervisor?
Put it down!
Put
Put it down, man! Come on! You don't want to do this, man! Put it down!
I kind of tend to think it's more of the first one. He's just expecting them to start shooting at this point because he's got the knife and he's refusing to put it down.
Put it down, man! Put the knife down, don't be out!
Okay, so backup. Are you in 29 West Broadway gas station?
Hey, put the knife down! Hey, don't come move up, man! Don't move! Stop! Stop! Don't move! Stop! You won't move! Hey, man, stop! Move! Stop! Get down, man! Stop! You don't move! Stop! Stop! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Stop! 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 Put the knife down!
So the part of the brain that deals with self-preservation is obviously it's still working because you see him flinch when the officer moves. He perceives this as he's about to be shot. Even though he wants to be shot, he wants to die, that part of the brain is still working, saying, oh no, oh crap, watch out for this.
Stop! 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 Stop!
Are then how doesn't
Hey, drop the knife! Hey, drop the knife! Drop the knife! Hey, drop the knife now!
Okay, so I've talked about this before. In true fashion, LAPD using a radio without a lapel mic. This is a very common occurrence with LAPD. It almost seems like they have an aversion or a disdain for using shoulder mics. I kind of think it's a mix between budget issues and a culture within the agency. Budget issues being they can't afford to buy lapel mics for every single officer. And then the culture thing of it is the new people, when they get hired, the people training them tell them, you don't need a lapel mic. It just falls off during a fight. It's useless. And yes, lapel mics can fall off during fights. I've had lapel mics fall off of me before. But they make things simpler and easier over 90% of the time. And there's a remedy for the lapel mics falling. There's a company out there called Mic Loop, and they produce a pretty good product that is basically a long piece of paracord, and you can do a little twist wrap around the clip part of the lapel mic, or you can do a loop on it and pass the microphone through it and tighten that loop up, and it's tightened up around the cord of the lapel mic, and the other end of it is velcro to the vest, so that one little piece sticks out of the uniform. If you're wearing a traditional uniform shirt, you basically have one end that is velcro to the vest, and then a long piece of paracord will come out of the shirt, and then you can do two mounting options to the lapel mic, and it'll stay in place. There's lots of testimonials from people using this. They get a lot of people sending in after action photos of them covered in mud and dirt, and obviously showing signs that they've been in a fight and their lapel mic's still there. So it's a pretty good product. If you don't even want to buy it, but you still got paracord around the house, you can even make one your own. Very simple fix for that. But anyway, LAPD just seems to have like I said, a disdain for using lapel mics. And this right here illustrates why it's wrong to not use lapel mics. Lapel mics are a necessary piece of life safety equipment, in my opinion. If you're going to be working in public safety, whether it be fire, police, EMS, security, you need a lapel mic. It's a necessary piece of equipment. And this right here illustrates why that's super important, because he is having to reach down to his belt, unsecure the radio, bring it up, talk to it, and then if something fast happens,
back up for a man with a knife.
he's either going to have to A, drop that radio and get his hand back on the gun to get back in the fight, or B, he's going to have to take the time to lower the radio, put it down in his pouch, and if he has to run or do anything, he's going to have to secure that radio in his pouch with its retention. If not, it could fall out. It's a whole lot easier, a whole lot simpler, just to be able to reach up to your shoulder or to your shirt, press the button for the microphone, let go, and put your hand back where it needs to go.
Drop the knife now. Put it down.
Hey,
Hey, put it down.
So at this point, they both have their pistols out, and they're providing lethal cover. At this point, with him not making any quick advancements, I think that one of them should have verbalized going less lethal. One of them says, "Hey, get your taser out," or one says, "Hey, I'm going to taser, maintain lethal cover," whatever. Some type of communication, I think, should have went on there, and one of them should have went to a taser device. With this distance, it's very likely that if they were using the standoff cartridge for the Taser 7, that they could have got a decent hit on him. And if they didn't get a decent hit and he still came forward, then they still got a backup shot. You know, there's 2 cartridges inside those. So they would have had 2-shot capability with a taser. And if he passed the imaginary line, the line in the sand, then absolutely use deadly physical force to stop him from getting on top of them. Because even though he's obviously suicidal, it doesn't mean that he's not going to start stabbing, slashing with the knife, and could cause serious bodily injury or even death to one of the officers. So I think it would have been good if one of them would have got taser out. I think there could have been a different outcome in this scenario if they had implemented the use of a taser.
Put it down, man. Come on. You don't want to do this, man. Put it down.
He's got his weapon light activated, and he's putting white light in this guy's face and his chest area. They don't really need the light, per se. They already can positively identify that he has a knife, but they're using light to their advantage to disorientate this guy and make it harder for him to see exactly where they're at. And the light can also cause pain and have him look away. That way he can't fully see exactly everything they're doing. He even goes so far as to get his spotlight activated and have it pointed directly at his chest and face area. You'll see his partner does the same. Just back this up. So you'll look over here. Spotlight is off. Boom. Now it's on. And his partner will eventually reach out and grab.
Hey, put the knife down.
The spotlight and orientated as
well.
Hey,
put it down, man. Look.
So I think white light is a pretty good tool to use. Like I said, it's obviously well lit there. They don't need the weapon-mounted lights to identify that he has a weapon or anything like that. They're just using the white light to their advantage to hopefully kind of slightly disorientate him a little bit, make it harder for him to see exactly where they're at, what they're doing.
We don't want to hurt you, man. Hey, stop. Don't come towards us, man. Stop. 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 Hey, man, stop. Stop. Get down, man. Stop. Stop. Put the knife down. Stop. Stop. Stop.
So this officer I'm assuming probably already had maybe a predefined area in his head that if this guy passes it, this is the time to use deadly physical force. If he didn't already have that pre-planned in his head, then when this guy got to the point where he got at, it clicked in his head, hey, this guy can't go any further. He is way too damn close. All he has to do is just start into a sprint, and he can be right on top of this officer, stabbing, slashing, and causing serious physical injury or even death.
Stop! Stop! Man, stop, move! Stop! Put the knife down! Put the knife!
So you'll see this officer, he'll move to the right some, and this is what causes him to flinch.
Stop! 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 Put the knife down! Stop! 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 Stop!
Don't move! Oh, back it up. So our time frame here is 1811. And it doesn't take that long for other units to get there because they start moving in at 1812. So not a whole lot of time elapsed. So a lot of people always want to ask or make comments about police handcuffing people after they've shot someone. There have been a lot of people who have been shot by the police, have gone down and appeared to be incapacitated or appeared to be dead, appeared to no longer be in the fight or wanting to fight. And then all of a sudden, without any warning, boom, they're back in the fight. So the handcuffing is for safety. There is a famous case from the 80s out of Miami, Florida, between the FBI and some bank robbers. And these guys took multiple rounds throughout a gunfight. One of them at the very beginning got shot in the head. It only temporarily knocked him out. And he was able to wake back up during the middle of this gunfight and crawl out of the car and get into the car of an FBI agent and try to take off on it. His partner took a round into the side of his chest that went into his heart. It was a lethal hit, but he did not immediately die from it. He was going to die from that, but just not right then and there. And he was able to get out and get shot a few more times and then kill 2 FBI agents and seriously wound some others, and took some pistol rounds, took some shotgun pellets to him. Excuse me. He got in the car, and him and his partner were shot. And even after being shot, he did not immediately die. He was still alive after the final shots went into him and incapacitated him. He was still alive. Then he eventually passed away a little bit after that. But it's not uncommon for people to be shot and then they get back up. So handcuffing them is for safety purposes. If this person gets back up, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder for them to fight when their hands are cuffed behind their back. Anytime a person is leaking their life sauce, you need to have gloves on. This guy has probably made some bad decisions in life, and he could have some type of bloodborne pathogen. You have to assume that everyone you come across has something. You just have to. because you don't want to take anything home with you. You don't want to take AIDS home. You don't want to take hepatitis home. You don't want to end up dying early. If you're young and trying to start a family and you get AIDS, well, it's kind of hard to start a family if you've got AIDS, because how are you going to have sex to produce a kid? What, you going to pass AIDS on to your spouse and then potentially the baby be born with it as well? Like that's stupid. Always glove up. Always put your PPE on. It's necessary. There's no reason why you should be putting hands on people who've got blood all over them without any gloves on. You need to have gloves on before you touch anybody. Even if they're laying there bleeding out and you're going to be rendering medical aid to them, they can wait. Especially in circumstances like this where they brought this shit upon themselves, they can wait. They can sit there and bleed while you put your gloves on.
Got it?
Also, something to think about, the bottom of your shoes. Think about places where you step and things that stay on the bottom of your boots. And then if you take this stuff home. So it's wise to keep some disinfect spray in the car, and you can have someone spray the bottom of your feet while you stand against the vehicle and lift one foot up, and they can just douse the whole bottom of it with disinfect spray, and then lift your other foot and spray it down. There's some people that I've heard of who kind of have like a decon part in their garage. Like when they get home, they'll step into the garage, and then that's where they'll take all their uniform stuff off and leave it in the garage instead of tracking it through the house. That's actually not a bad idea. If you have a garage that you can go through and be able to take that stuff off and just leave it out there, that's a pretty good option instead of bringing it into the house where everyone's at all the time. You could also even have like a Tupperware kind of box or something like that with a solution in it. When you get home, you can set your boots into it, and in the liquid and stuff that you'd have in there would just come up to the treads of the footwear and let that stuff soak and disinfect. But realistically, the best thing to do is just have some type of disinfect spray there at the scene. That way you can spray the bottom of the boots and hopefully kill whatever's on the bottom of your footwear.
Good?
There's a lot of blood here. A lot. And they're unprotected. No telling what this guy has. Now, lucky for him, maybe, fire department's right there. So fire is able to get over there and immediately take over and start providing care. Normally that's not the case. Usually sometimes there's a delay in fire and EMS getting there, because they're staging down the way if they have not already been summoned. If not, then they're having to come from the station. So they're either going to have to come from the station and then get there, or they've been summoned but told to stage a block or two away until it's clear to come up. And so there's always going to be, most of the time, a delay. It's kind of unique that immediately after being shot and cuffed, that fire department or EMS is right there to start rendering care to them. Usually it's the police who end up having to provide some type of care for someone. Medical gear. So you should always have medical gear on you as your first line gear, stuff that is going to be used to treat you, your teammates, your family. And then your secondary gear, your support gear, could be in your vehicle, and that can be an IFAC bag or just a trauma bag with some extra stuff to supplement the things that you carry on your body that you're using on you or someone else, or that stuff in the vehicle can be used on people like this, complete strangers who aren't a part of the team, and you can reserve your first line gear for you and your partners and or family.
This incident was also captured.
There's a helicopter coming out. He's got something in it. Oh. Come on, dude, stop walking. Fuck, he's saying to shoot him. Fuck. Moving.
Transport was recovered at scene and booked it.
It's a pretty good sized knife. Looks almost like a little Micro Myers kind of knife.
As evidence. Enrique Ruiz Jr. was a 33-year-old.
So, not much else to say about this video. This is a pretty clear-cut video. It's another unfortunate suicide by police kind of incident. I wish these people would just go down to the ghetto and mess with the gangs and do a suicide by gang instead of doing a suicide by police. But I guess they just I don't know. But unfortunately, it's a suicide by police kind of incident. The only thing that I think that could have been done different is if one of them could have gotten their taser out and deployed it, gave it a chance. The use of deadly physical force on this guy, I have no problem with it whatsoever. I don't think they violated his rights in any way. He brought this shit upon himself, as they always do. They waited until he got to a point where it was their line in the sand. And once he passed that line, it was on. Because he got super close where he could have just completely lunged and maybe got a couple of stabs on one of them and cause either serious physical injury and or death with his knife. So no problem whatsoever with them using deadly physical force on him. Yeah. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.